Now, let's talk about what you're going to go through emotionally. You have to be ready for that as well. My name is Marina James. I had my bariatric surgery 9 years ago. I'm a bariatric certified counselor, life coach, and a therapist. Some people will tell you that you are taking an easy way out. Don't listen to them. Bariatric surgery is not an easy way out. You still have to do a lot of work, including on your mental state, your relationship with food, your relationship with people around you who might trigger you to eat things you shouldn't be eating. Stress eating is still a thing. Even if you have a small stomach, you still want to go for something that you shouldn't be eating and stuff it in your mouth. Now, you pay for it by having pains in your stomach and possibly having your stomach stretched out and regaining weight, but emotionally, you're still the same person unless you work on what triggers you, what makes you binge, what makes you graze. Grazing is basically eating throughout the day, a little bit at a time. Grazing will get you to regain the weight. Most likely, you will not be hungry when you're grazing. You will still have your sabotage patterns that you have to work through. Because the thing is, you did not get to be as big as you are because you have a healthy relationship with food. So it is not about food, and it is about food. It is not about what you ate. It is about why you ate it. That needs to be worked through, and preferably start going through that process before your surgery. Journal, pay attention to why you eat, figure out what you can do instead of eating. There's plenty of tools that you could use and skills that you can learn. And if you really need to, there are specialists like me who can help you work through that. If you would like for me to work with you one-on-one, please reach out to me. There are going to be people in your life that if you go visit them, they will say things like, well, aren't you going to eat this? I cooked this specifically for you. But you always loved this. Why aren't you eating it now? You're going to hurt my feelings if you do not eat the food I cooked for you. Set boundaries. You need to take care of yourself, not pleasure the person who cooked you the food. You still love them. You can tell them that you love them. You don't have to eat their food because they cooked it for you. If you do not change your mindset and your relationship with food, the weight will come back. Bariatric surgery or no bariatric surgery, you will end up where you were. You're still the same person inside and you still have the same thought patterns and the same mindset. There will be a point as you start losing weight that you will look in the mirror and you're not going to recognize who's looking back at you. Your face will be changing, your body will be changing, but not just that, your mentality will be changing. All of a sudden, you'll be able to do more things and you will start wondering why and how and what do I do next? Who do you see when you look in the mirror? It is a very good question to ask yourself. This is where you can get a lot of self-growth and self-understanding, which brings me to a few interesting unexpected things that you do not realize. You are going to shed your fat suit. The question is, what will you do with that? Do you have goals? Do you have some kind of idea of where you want to go in the future? Because what is possible for you without that fat suit is amazing. Hiking, running, skipping, traveling without the belt extension on an airplane, fitting into the airplane seat, being able to fit everything in a smaller suitcase because your clothes takes up less space, being able to play with your kids, running around and biking with them, having better sex than you ever had before, which reminds me, your hormones will change. If you are married, your chance of divorce is pretty high unless you work together with your partner to figure out the new you and he accepts you for who you are now. Your chance of getting married if you're single also improves. Your chance of getting pregnant because of jumping hormones and release of hormones into your body as your fat cells are shrinking also improves. There are also some negative things which you will find interesting about having bariatric surgery. I do not know if you realize, but the reason why you are as big as you are is because you eat more, which quite often because it's an addiction. Your relationship with food is not a healthy relationship with food. It is an addicting type of relationship with food. Often people who are addicts, and let's just say you're a food addict, it's pretty normal, just deal with it. those people switch to different type of addiction. It is not recommended to drink alcohol for the first year, or at least not a lot, post-surgery. Your stomach will absorb alcohol very differently, and you will get drunk on a lot smaller amount. Some people transfer their addiction from food addiction because now they can't eat a lot to, let's say, alcohol, which is a very common transfer addiction for those who had bariatric surgery. Now, on the good side is, if you know you're an addiction type of a person, you can pick a different addiction. You can actually decide what it is you want to pull yourself into when you're stressed. Some people go for exercise. I personally went to work. So I became a workaholic. I am right now learning how to undo that and balance my life. But because I didn't have enough time to figure it out right away, I just switched from food addiction to work addiction. It worked for me, at least for a while. Now I'm tired of that, and I'm switching to learning how to have a balanced life. I recommend you do the same. However, you do have choices. You do not have to fall into the addiction that just simply falls into your lap because you feel that you need to switch to something, because you feel that you cannot handle what it is you're handling. Work with a therapist. They will help you figure it out. Your process does not have to be painful. Another very interesting thing of having post-bariatric experience, being able to shave your legs. It is so much easier, you cannot even imagine. You also might realize that going to a restaurant is a very different experience because you need so little food. You will find that an appetizer is a meal, that you actually spend less money on eating out, and you will spend less money on the food you're buying because you do not need nearly as much. You will be able to afford high quality food without breaking your budget, without even changing your budget. You might find yourself spending even less with everything organic and all of the supplements and delicious, I don't know, shrimp or whatever it is you want to eat that before you can't afford it. Before I didn't think I could afford salmon every week. Now I can because I'm not buying things like potato chips and cookies. And guess what? I don't even want potato chips and cookies. My body is not asking for it most of the times. I want eggs as a snack because that's what fuels me. And my body is happy with it. Or a slice of cheese. Cheese is my go-to snack quite often, or a piece of apple as a dessert. Dried fruit is also a really good dessert. But let's not talk about that right now. There are certain new skills you have to stick to. One of them is, as I mentioned, no drinking from straws. The other one is no drinking sodas. It's not exactly a skill, yet it is if you're really addicted to soda. You will not be able to eat and drink at the same time. You get to drink your liquid. Yes, I call it liquid because even liquid soup is a liquid. Bone broth is a liquid. Tea is a liquid. Coffee is a liquid. So you drink your liquid. You have to wait about 15 minutes before you start eating solid food. You eat your solid food and then you do not drink for somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour. Your body will let you know when it's ready. The reason why you do that is so that the liquid does not push your nutrition down into the next level. It stays in your stomach digesting and pulling out all the nutrients. You want those nutrients because you cannot have a lot of food. So you might want to say, well, what about soup? Soup is a liquid and a solid at the same time. Guess what? Soup is an exception, which is why I absolutely love soups and eat them almost every day. Except for I sip the liquid first with my spoon and then I finish the solid with leftover liquid. You have to eat slowly simply because you only have so many bites before your stomach gets full. So savor your food. You don't need a lot, and you do not need a lot to savor it. Do not eat at the same time as you're watching TV because you're now distracted from enjoying your food. Your taste buds needs time to enjoy that food. Your body needs that enjoyment. It is not just stuffing your stomach so that you're full. It is now a whole experience. It is experience of eating few bites, thoroughly enjoying the flavor, and being fully satisfied with a full stomach from just 5-6 ounces of food a year out from your surgery and just 1 to 3 ounces of food during the first year. You need to know that supplements are not an option. You will be taking supplements for the rest of your life, and if you do not, your body will become brittle, your skin will become looking unhealthy, and you will have very low energy. Unless you don't want to have all that energy, then don't take your items. You get to practice self-love and self-care. Also not an option, because if you don't, you will end up eating more than you should by thinking that the food, just like it has before, brought you happiness, which it never has. So, is bariatric surgery worth it? In my opinion, yes. If not for the bariatric surgery, I would not have gone back to college. Because guess what? Your brain starts working better when you don't have to deal with all the weight you're carrying around. You can think clearer. You can achieve things that you never thought were possible. I started rock climbing. I started doing Zumba. Daily dancing in the kitchen while cooking now for me is a thing. Traveling, fitting into the seats on an airplane, amazing. Getting my education, wow. I never knew it was possible. It was not even on my to-do list post-surgery. I just wanted to feel better. Yet, with clarity of mind, because my nutrition has changed and my body has shrunk and the pain level has reduced, allowed me to continue educating myself. So now I can bring information to other people and be of service in a way I never thought I could. So yes, it's totally worth it. The question is, what do you want to get out of it? You need to have a clear vision that will also help you get to your goal of a healthy lifestyle. Your goal should never be, I want to be thin. It's only one part of the goal. The rest should be, what do I do with that new energy, with that new body, with that new mind, and with that new relationship with food, which I still need to get. So no, it is not a magic solution. You have a lot of work ahead of you, and I'm here to support you and help you. Thumbs up this video if you like it. Share it with others. Please subscribe to the channel to get notifications for more videos, and reach out to me if you would like for me to answer specific questions, or if you would like to work with me one-on-one. Love you all, friends. I wish you a good journey.